into the nines and brilliantly into the nines.
Now that is an incredible time.
It is 0.6 of a second faster than Rubens Barrichello, and it's 0.8 of a second faster than Mika Häkkinen.
It's one of the shortest and quickest laps of the Formula One year. Spielberg's A1 ring presents very special problems. Welcome to race day in Austria. Hello there, this is the only racetrack where you can see snow up there on the mountains. Those slopes aren't that far away, but today conditions absolutely perfect for racing on the tarmac. This is Michael Schumacher's bogey circuit, but he stuck the Ferrari on pole and comes here on top of the championship standings as well. 8 points clear of David Coulthard after that lucky win in Spain. Coulthard, though, he's been second in Austria for the last 4 years. Barrichello, well, he loves this place. Ralf Schumacher is based in Salzburg. Heidfeld has done well for Sauber. Trulli, though, starts just ahead of him. Now then, Tony Jardine, Michael Schumacher has never won here. You might just remember what happened to him last year as well.
And it could happen again if you look at who's around him on the grid. He's got Juan Pablo Montoya next to him, the man who overtook him in Brazil. But Michael Schumacher started from fourth, and overzealous Zonta, who started sixth behind him, hit him from behind. Off he spun. Jarno Trulli went into him. Look at him interlocked there, and Michael Schumacher was out, and you saw Ralf Schumacher being caught out there as well. This morning, electrical problem with the spare car, and this man is at his peak of his fitness. He said, I'm much fitter than I was this time last year. Goodness help the opposition this afternoon. Very fit, went back, took his race car. They fixed his spare car as well. Ferrari in very, very good shape, but it's all down to the start.
What chance that the two Williams cars will run away from Schumacher at the start then?
Very good indeed, because requires more than 60% full throttle here, power circuit. Gerhard Berger's BMW man, so that's good for us. Juan Pablo Montoya here took second place from his teammate Ralf Schumacher, preventing the brothers on the front row as in Brazil. They're looking good, but it's a question of tyres, and I'm sure James will update us on that later on.
I'm sure he will. Thank you, Tony. Let me just confirm the grid for you then. Fifth pole out of six for Michael Schumacher. Montoya, first podium in Spain, first front row here in Austria. Ralf Schumacher in the second Williams. That is a great effort. Then Barrichello, Trulli and Heidfeld, both ahead of the McLarens. Irvine's Jaguar, 13th as normal, and poor Jenson Button down on the back row. The sad truth is we expected that. A big shock, though, to see the McLarens down on the fourth row. Why is that? Well, that's what Louise Goodman has been trying to find out.
McLaren topped the timesheets from the first free practice session on Friday right through to the start of the qualifying hour. Then, just when it really mattered, things started to go wrong. Never mind battling for pole, Häkkinen and Coulthard were struggling just to make it into the top 10. The team eventually recorded their worst qualifying performance in almost 4 years.
Clearly a very disappointing session for everyone in the team. We didn't perform as fast as we'd gone in the morning session. So, you know, considering we're running less fuel, and you know we've had some problems with the oversteer, and we just haven't been able to attack the lap.
It's quite a big disaster. We lost from the pole position maybe 7, 8, 10. So it's quite a big gap. Conditions changed quite a lot in terms of wind, and we weren't able to balance the car for that condition. McLaren has to understand and analyze it, and then when they come with the solution, we will be more clever next time.
It's not over yet. You never know what happens, and we can come away with 10 points, and then qualifying will seem a distant memory. So I think it's important to keep things in perspective, and it's when the checker flag drops that you count your points.
Now, when we left him in Spain, McLaren boss Ron Dennis was still trying to sort things out with David Coulthard after accusing him on this programme of suffering a touch of brain fade. As it transpired, a computer glitch caused Coulthard's McLaren to fail. Today, Ron Dennis isn't that happy with me.
As regards last weekend and my comments, I think Jim Rosenthal's a little bit to blame for that, because what I shared with your viewers was based on the information I was given during the course of the race. I qualified it, and by saying we hadn't got all the information at that stage, or something similar to that. And then, of course, the only thing fed into David was the fact that I'd say suffered from brain fade. It scores sort of less than 1 out of 10 as being an insulting remark. I don't think many of the viewers appreciate, you know, we have our own expressions, common down the pit lane, and brain fade just refers to a sort of momentary lapse of concentration.
I think It scored just a bit more than 1 out of 10 in David Coulthard's book of Formula One insults, judging by the look in his eyes in Barcelona. OK then, coming up we have Murray's memories of the Österreich ring. There's Martin's grid walk too. After the race, by the way, our competition result. And there's Ross Kemp learning the ropes with Jordan. Ross intends to be in the pit crew for real at the British Grand Prix. Beautiful day at Spielberg in the Styrian Mountains in southern Austria, around 3 hours drive from Vienna. We've been coming to the A1 ring since 1997. They took just 280 days. They spent £15 million on the new circuit. But this site has Formula One memories dripping off the trees.
The Austrian Grand Prix has been a bit of a stop-go affair. It started in 1964, stopped, and then started again here at the magnificent old Österreich ring. Now, sadly, just a vehicle park. 1978 saw a mighty cloudburst with cars spinning off, including America's Mario Andretti. And Andretti's lost it! Andretti's out of the race already! Mario went on to win the championship with the all-conquering Lotus 79, but it was his teammate, the charming Ronnie Peterson, who won in Austria. There were some thrilling finishes at the old Österreich ring. In 1980, Frenchman Jean-Pierre Jabouille in the turbocharged Renault beat that year's world champion Alan Jones in his Williams by a mere 0.8 of a second. Jabouille can see the checkered flag. Jones right behind him, getting closer but not close enough. Jabouille wins and Jones is in second place. But it was even closer in 1982 when Elio De Angelis's Lotus surged across the line just 0.05 of a second ahead of Keke Rosberg's Williams. Listen to James Hunt.
Oh, it's fantastic stuff. De Angelis kept it well blocked. That's very excusable on the last lap, but Rosberg's coming at him. He's going to finish side by side, and De Angelis has just held it.
Sadly, though, it was the last Lotus win witnessed by the team's great founder, Colin Chapman. The Österreich ring was a fantastic venue, a real racer's circuit, and 1987 was an amazing year. There were 3 starts because of collisions, the first of which was initiated by ITV's very own Martin Brundle. But it was our other British hero who'd take the glory, Nigel Mansell in his Williams Honda, at a blistering average of 146 miles an hour. And here he is, completing the 52nd and last lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. And as Nigel Mansell crosses the line to win, there is no checkered flag. Nigel did win the race, and then came the interview.
Nigel, first of all, will you carefully and slowly take your hat off? You've got an enormous bump on your head. Can you let them see it?
I don't know whether... There you go.
Right up there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Off with the old and on with the new. The A1 ring, a shortened and sanitised circuit in the same beautiful valley, which opened in 1997. In 1999, Eddie Irvine took over leadership of the Ferrari team after Michael Schumacher broke his leg at Silverstone to achieve his second Grand Prix victory and the team's first in Austria since 1970. Mika Häkkinen won for McLaren last year, as he did in 1998. But the man to watch this year has to be his teammate, David Coulthard. David's had his moments here. He punted Mika off at turn 2 in 1999, but in spite of that, he's been second for the last 4 years. He's been Mr. Consistency this year with points from all the first 5 races. Can he make it his 11th career win here today? Stay tuned.
Well, David Coulthard suffered when traction control returned in Spain. Not everyone is using it. In fact, here the teams are struggling to master all those latest gizmos. James Allen has this.
There were plenty of glitches with the new computer systems 2 weeks ago in Spain, but since then the teams have done a lot of testing, going deeper into what they have to offer. And although reliability is still a concern, they're all using the traction control systems this weekend.
People can't run without it really now. There's too much of an advantage in it. Obviously turn 1 and turn 2 here, important acceleration points away from those corners from quite low speed, so it's acting quite heavily. And likewise on the start, I think quite a heavy function here.
One of the key jobs traction control does is it helps to preserve the rear tyres, and that's going to be essential today, because the key to today's race is going to be managing the tyres. We've seen in practice that the Michelin's performance goes off a little bit after the first few laps, but then comes on very strongly later on. The Bridgestone is much more consistent. If that happens today, Michael Schumacher might well be able to make a break for it, but the Williamses will come on very strong towards the middle of the race.
Thanks, James. You could easily go for a stroll in the forest round here. Instead, let's go for a quick walk on the grid with Martin.
Thanks, Jim. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the grid. Not got too much time today. Michael Schumacher on pole position, of course, and he's got to get up that hill. Can you see it, Andy? Up that hill faster than Montoya in the Williams, who's alongside him on the grid. Juan Pablo, first time on the front row, of course, in Formula One. Let's just see if we can have a quick word with him. Haven't managed to tee anything up. Juan Pablo, any chance of a quick word for the British viewers? Is that a maybe or a no?
No. Well, no. It'll be all right. Just.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Welcome to the front of the grid. Okay, good luck. Oh, well, we tried. So let me take you down. And we think this car's got probably 30 or 40 horsepower more than Michael Schumacher has. So Schumacher's racing the McLarens, of course, for the championship. But I think he's racing BMW today, and particularly to that first corner. Michael may well run a little bit less fuel to give him half a chance to get to that first corner first. Big shunt last year here on the first corner, as you know. Big shunt yesterday in the Formula 3000 race. Tricky area. Plus, I think Ferrari still have overheating brakes as well. So a little bit less fuel, excuse me very much, a little bit less fuel before he has to get to that first corner will be critical. Ralf Schumacher, his brother, just behind him here. He could be in the same situation. Michelin tyres may grain, may go off a little bit for the first 10 laps and then come back to them. Williams BMW very strong today. Barrichello will be sitting there waiting, hopefully, to pick up the pieces. A new order on the grid today. New guys around for us. Montoya on the front row. Trulli here in 5th place. You can already see him in the car. Hakkinen and Schumacher and Coulthard having a bad time. Back to you.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. We are all set. Last year, Michael Schumacher didn't get beyond the first corner. The Austrian Grand Prix is coming up for you next.